hello self, I'd like to introduce you to my real self.
Sometimes what seems like the end is really the beginning. I'm gonna take you behind the curtain of my life, and my friends are gonna tell their stories too. We're going from the pain to the promise in a real, raw, and organic way. Are you ready? Let's go.
I always say that awareness is the beginning of transformation. With that in mind, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, ou 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. Whether it's in English, which you already know, whether it's in Spanish, which I barely know, or if it's in French, which I really didn't want to count past 10 in, just saying right now, we are gonna learn what is the significance of the number 9, especially when it comes to self-awareness. Well, the number 9 is linked to this thing called the Enneagram. And whether you've heard of it or not, I want you to stick around today because we're gonna use this tool to learn more about you. The thing about this tool is even though we're using it to learn more about us, we can also use it to learn more about others. How to relate to people, how to know people better, how to motivate people better, how to communicate with people better. Have you ever sent somebody a text message and you meant one thing, but they read something else and you're like, I wasn't even saying that. Part of that can be we're living life through different filters. We're not putting you in a box, we're taking you out of a box. We're exposing the filter that's in front of your eyes, your thoughts, your subconscious. So all the information you're getting, you're filtering it one way. Everything you're putting it out, you're filtering it another. And I'm going to bring somebody alongside of me that's really gonna help me do this. She is so smart. My friend Jackie Brewster. She is an Enneagram expert. She is a coach, a wife, an author, a mom, and this girl knows what she is talking about. So today, before we get started, I'm gonna give you a little homework. Get a little piece of paper. You're gonna wanna take some notes. We're gonna give away some free resources. We're gonna give away some tools. I don't want you to get them. And since you're taking some notes anyway, why don't you go ahead and like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. You go to Crank Ministries, like it. That way we know you like it. Follow it so we end up in your mailbox. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, so we can connect. We can share this message. I can share more information like this with you. And you can just forward it on to friends who need it. Are you ready to learn more about who God has made you to be? Let's go.
Rapid fire questions with Jackie Brewster. 3 words to describe yourself.
Probably a little outrageous, fun, and kind.
Pizza toppings.
I love all the veggies, like artichoke hearts, everything. I want it all, like a salad on my pizza.
If you had a time machine.
Oh, I'd probably go back to when my kids were little. I think I'm like, oh my gosh, where did those years go?
Which way should the toilet paper roll?
I don't care. I could care less. Do whatever you want. As long as I don't have to do anything with it, I don't care.
Rapid fire questions complete.
There's usually 2 responses to the Enneagram, I'm kind of awesome and I like it and I know it, I know it. I could tell you my Disney princess. And the panic because you don't know what you're talking about. And then I meet this girl. She's like, I've written a book on the Enneagram. I'm like, I'm sure you have. And her husband's like, no, my wife does Enneagram. I'm like, I'm sure she does. And she walks in and is like, I want to give you a copy of my book. And I'm like, okay, thank you. And I'm ready for her to whip this little thing out of her pocket. And she does. I didn't know she wrote something as thick as the Bible on the Enneagram. And I start paging through this. And it is so judgment, how each Enneagram number responds to judgment and to security points and to self-awareness. Oh, I don't want to talk about self-awareness. And how your heart longs to hear and your unique battle from each Enneagram number's perspective. So I want to introduce you to my friend, Jackie Brewster.
Hey, yes.
If somebody's watching right now and they're not familiar with the Enneagram, how would you explain to them what the Enneagram is?
It is a personality typing system. There's 9 different personality types because we all see things differently. 9 different motivations. And so when we're thinking about this, in that way. This isn't a tool to tell you about yourself, but it's a tool for you to begin to ask yourself some hard questions. But it really is a great tool to help you dive into the patterns of behavior that you're living out in your life and get curious as to why. There's a richness to this. And so no two people have the same story, even if they have the same number. But the core motivations, the core desires, the core fears often line up because they stem from childhood messages. A longing message that we wish we had and an unconscious message that we function from. And so when we start to unpack these, we begin to see a lot of our behaviors have been developed to try to protect ourselves as early as the age of 2. So the Enneagram, it does give you a picture of personality, and personality sits out ahead of you. Our personality is what everybody encounters when they encounter us, right? But our temperament is different. A temperament has been given to us from the Lord. And so that doesn't change. Our temperament doesn't change. So even inside 9 personality types, there can be different temperaments that make up that person. So it's more around curiosity around, why am I doing what I'm doing? And are these patterns serving me? And am I trying to go against the very temperament that God put in me, trying to be something other than who I actually am? And why?
So if that personality type sits out front of the temperament, what flavors that personality type? Because the way I phrase it is, I think maybe I was born a 3, but I became an 8. Based on things that happened to me when I was a child. So I had molestation when I was a child. I had rape when I was 13, and some bullying that happened in the country town because the kids found out. So now, if there's a room, and like when I have my own conferences, the conference speakers will show up, they'll be over there, and my husband will be like, you need to say hello to your conference speakers, because I'm too busy like, oh, they're not connecting. And I'll pull them, and they're not connecting. And I'm working on pulling in the wallflowers, getting everybody connected.
Which is so beautiful, which is your personality, your Enneagram type is a... do you share or you do not?
I do. I lean towards the 8 because of that justice side.
Yes, that's that warm piece of the Enneagram 8. But we're not really looking at behavior as a coach. I'm looking below it. I'm looking at motivation.
Yes.
And so when you're starting to take these tests and you start to read things about yourself, like I would still want you to remain curious and really ask yourself, like, okay, these are my behaviors, but why am I doing it? Because there's such a difference between that 3-8, the why is behind the 3-8, which would, kind of solve some of the mystery around which one of these are true, because the 3 and the 8 are both assertive, and they're both drivers, and they're both passionate, and they're both, they want to make a big impact on the world, all the things that probably resonate with you, but the motivations are different. But the beautiful work of transformation happens at the heart level. And it just takes a while to get there sometimes.
And I think the heart level is reprogramming the subconscious.
It is being kind to the subconscious. It is allowing space for it to come to the surface, even for us to begin to understand the motivators behind the scenes. Like, why are we really doing this?
Because we'll walk into self-sabotaging behaviors and keep walking into the same loop over and over again, wishing we had a different result. But that's what we automatically start to interrupt. We automatically insert ourselves. We automatically retreat. We automatically feel like I have to guard my heart and protect myself. And so finding those limiting beliefs, those behaviors.
Yes. That's it. That's it. So it's familiar patterns of behavior. We repeat what we don't repair. So that's what we do. We repeat, right? But so we repeat what we don't repair. So that's the work I'm interested in when I'm working with clients.
Yes.
And so there's a couple of things. So you repeat what you don't repair, right? You have to feel it to heal it, which means you've got to slow down, because healing takes time, and a lot of the times we fill our days so busy and so full that we don't have to feel anything. These are the things that are required for healing.
Yes.
And that is the work that I'm interested in. I want to help people heal. I want to help people get into their own stories and become aware, acknowledge the role that they're playing or what's happened, and then from there begin to adjust to find those new patterns. But it takes time.
How do they get familiar with a tool like the Enneagram?
That is a great tool to begin the process. And there's different ways you can do it. You can, do different programs to help you begin to unpack your Enneagram type or what the Enneagram even means.
So, if you're wondering, what is the best Enneagram number? What is the worst Enneagram number? Am I the worst Enneagram number? I bet I'm the worst Enneagram number. I'm not sure of my Enneagram number. And what do all these Enneagram numbers mean? Well, you're about to find out. God is not obligated to heal a hurt that you won't give him. And I know you feel like you're at a fork in the road right now, but God is here to meet you. I'm here to tell you that your past does not determine your future. Your past prepares you for your future. And I know because I've been in the pain where I thought I should just survive. I remember finding out that I was adopted by my dad. I remember being molested when I was in 4th grade, raped when I was 13, bullied by the kids in school, and becoming a single unwed mother at 17 years old. I remember what it felt like when I married the man of my dreams and I thought he was one thing, he became drug addicted and I got foreclosed on. I was bankrupt, divorced, and a single mom again. My life should have been a statistic, and you might feel the same way about yours. But you're not called to survive, you're called to thrive.
I just finished the first chapter of I Will Thrive, and can I tell you, I could not put it down. It was so good. It was captivating, inspiring. I wrote down quotes. You've got to read it.
God wants to take you to the promise, the future that he has for you that is so good and so wonderful. A thriving future, not based on what has happened, but based on his plans for you. He just needs you to take one step out. And that's why I want you to get this book today. I want you to go to the website, get this book, hold it near and dear to your heart, and step out in life and thrive.
What is the secret sauce to being a great leader? And by great leader, here's what I mean. Some people are really curious about that information, and they happen to be at Cornell University. So Cornell University did a study of 72 high-performing CEOs. And by high-performing, here's what I mean. They led companies that did $50 million to $5 billion in revenue every year. And you know what their secret sauce was? It wasn't they went to the same school, their grade point average, their after-school activities, whether or not they were married, if they had kids or not. It wasn't their morning routine or that they were even the same Enneagram number. Their secret sauce was they were self-aware. I want you to write this sentence down. Awareness is the beginning of transformation. If we can figure ourselves out, we can figure out any relationship and how to deal with others. What does self-awareness do? Self-awareness affects leaders and entrepreneurs more than it does anybody else. So if you're leading in your family, in your neighborhood, in your church, in your business, self-awareness is highly important to you. Self-awareness benefits any relationship. Self-awareness allows us to see and understand ourselves. Did you notice that I said it allows us to see ourselves? I heard a story that trying to see yourself is like going into the attic of maybe your grandparents' house. And you get up there and nobody's been up there in 30 years and it's dusty and terrible and you see this beautiful mirror and you're like, oh, you try and see yourself, but it's kind of messed up. So you start trying to dust it with your hand and it just smears the dust. And you see yourself in kind of this smeared and dusty way. When you first become self-aware, that's what happens, is you start seeing all the like dirt and the dust and the parts of ourselves that make us uncomfortable. We're giving you a free resource, and I want you to look at it on the screen right now and write it down. We're giving you a free resource to find out your Enneagram number. Now, while you're taking this profile, when you find out your Enneagram number and you start researching it, it's probably gonna make you a little mad. You're gonna get a little irritated. You're like, that sounds just like me, except not that part. If your number doesn't make you a little bit mad, it's probably not your number. Because the problem is there are parts of us, it rings so close to the truth. We don't really want to look at that dusty mess. But until we look at it, we can't fix it. The Enneagram gives us a tool to know how to show up for ourselves and for other people so we can relate. So why did we give you all this information today? Not to put you in a box. The Enneagram doesn't put you in the box. The Enneagram shows you the box you've been living in so you can get out of it. We're gonna help you use the tools to become self-aware to show us some places that hurt a little bit and they're a little dusty. But if you go to my circle of friends, NicoleCrank.com/circle, we have tons of tools in there, especially once you know your Enneagram number. We talk about self-awareness. We talk about limiting beliefs. We talk about how to grow. We talk about the purpose and destiny for your life. We talk about how to be successful, especially the way you're built. So go to NicoleCrank.com/circle and dive into self-awareness. Dive into this Enneagram number. And look up the funny memes on Instagram about the Enneagram, because they're fun.
So what is the best and worst Enneagram number?
That's a great question. They're all wonderful. I feel like I get asked that all the time. But the reality is that it's just kind of a roadmap.
Yeah.
And so if we kind of neutralize it all in that way, there's no better, best number at all. It's just curiosity around why, what's below the surface.
So if people are wondering, what are these numbers? And how would I begin to identify, which we already shared a free resource.
Yes.
It's on the bottom of your screen right now. But so let's talk about a 1.
So the Enneagram 1 is known as the moral perfectionist. They want to be seen as good and right. They want to do the right thing. They want to be above board. They don't want to make mistakes. They don't want to be seen as corrupt in any way. And so really that motivation behind like, I want to be seen as good and right, that's the driving force behind what they do. So they're usually orderly. They want to know the plan. They want to do what's expected of them. They move towards people to try to figure out what is expected in this environment.
They want things to be perfect or try and make them perfect.
Yes. Some want to perfect themselves. Some want to perfect the environment or other people. And some want to take on a cause and make a huge impact on the world.
What's a number 2?
And number 2 is a supportive advisor. And so just like you said, right, we think of the 2s and we're like, oh, they're just so kind and sweet and gentle, caring. My mom's an Enneagram 2, nurturing.
We call them a helper.
Oh, the helper,
Yeah, if you need help, call them.
Call them. Now, they don't all want to help everybody, but they really want to help the people they care about.
Yes.
But they want to be loved and wanted. They grew up feeling like it was not okay to show their own, have their own needs or share needs with other people. So they oftentimes take on a lot, trying to help out and trying to be that, hoping they'll get that in return.
So tell me about the number 3.
Okay. So the number 3 is the driven achiever.
Yes.
And so they are strong drivers. They are assertive. They go after what they want. They really want to be seen as admirable. They want to be liked.
They're competitive.
They are so competitive. They want to be chosen. They want to be the best at whatever they're doing. So there's a high drive behind them in this.
They want to be seen.
They want to be seen. They want to be seen so much. They really want to be known for who they are. But how they've crafted this throughout their life is typically like, I am known for what I do. And so that deep knowing sometimes is hard. And so they have a longing like to be known in that deep place, but they'll a lot of the times settle for being known in that achievement space.
So a 4.
A 4, the romantic individualist. So they are often creative. There's a creative bent to them. They see the world through a different lens. They care about authenticity. They want to make things beautiful.
They're a little bit deep.
They are deep.
Yeah.
They are deep.
They don't like shallow. They want to
go deep.
Yeah.
They speak the truth. And sometimes it's cutting, but they speak the truth. But they really care about people being able to be their authentic self and for space to be held for all people to be able to do that.
What about a 5?
A 5, the investigative thinker.
They want to know all the things.
They typically know a little about a lot of things. Okay. And then there's a couple of things that they're really, really interested in, and then it's overconsumption of information. But Enneagram 5s are typically great in crisis. They put their feelings to the side and really go into that function mode. And their brains are so fascinating to me.
It seems like 5s are a little more curious. I love curiosity.
They are. They're pioneers.
So what about an Enneagram 6?
The Enneagram 6 is the loyalist, and they move towards people, towards organizations or belief systems to help them feel safe and secure in the world. They vet things really well. Sometimes they're like the brake to people's gas pedals.
I like the way you said that, because they're a good person to have on the team when you're trying to strategize somebody new. They can see how it could go wrong.
Yes. Yes.
So that you can build in safety systems.
Right. Their focus is on the safety and security. So, what is the best way? What is the safest way? What is the right way?
Yeah.
They can look like a little bit like a 1 in some of those ways.
Oh, yeah. I can see that. What about a 7?
A 7 is the enthusiast. The 7, it is upbeat, positive, all those kind of things. They're great visionaries. They are great gatherers of people. They want to make a big impact on the world.
What about the 8?
The 8, the protective challenger.
Careful, Jackie.
Right? I know. You're an 8. You're an 8. So strong, determined, achiever.
Hit me with your best shot.
Oh, I think like protective challenger, what a great way to say that though, right? So they are fierce. But there's such a nurturing side to an 8. They're great mentors. They really want to help people get to the best that they can be. And so there is this push that happens behind the 8. But they don't want to be vulnerable. They're nervous to trust other people. So there definitely is that aspect of them, but they fiercely protect the people that they love and care for.
What about the 9?
The 9 is the peacemaker. And when I say that, there's a big difference between a peacekeeper and a peacemaker.
Yes.
And so there is movement behind that for the 9s. They are peacemakers. They see all sides of a situation. They are caring and kind. They have a hard time speaking up often.
A little slower to confront.
Yes. Oh, yes. They are like avoidant as far as chaos or conflict and all those things for sure. They have a hard time using their voice and really saying what they need or even want.
And that can be read as passive-aggressive sometimes, maybe.
Oh, it can be. Yeah, for sure.
But they don't mean it that way.
No, they would never mean it that way.
No.
But, oftentimes if we push things and suppress things, it comes out. It all comes out one way or the other here. So we'll see a little bit of passive-aggressive behavior for sure in the 9 if they feel like they've got to hold back or hold their voice back, or they don't feel like there's space for them to be fully seen, known, or understood.
What is the benefit of
question.
understanding your Enneagram number and other people's Enneagram numbers, and maybe how you communicate and relate based on that information?
I think that's a great question. What I find is the beauty around the Enneagram is it grows you in empathy and compassion for yourself first, and then for others. So when you start to see the world not only through your lens, but you're willing to put on other people's lenses, and from their perspective, it softens us. We don't take things personal that are not personal anymore, and we're not so caught up in different things. We're actually be able to see people and what they're going through in such a different, beautiful way.
God created you just the way you are. And He loves you just the way you are. Okay, you got some work to do. I get you. I have my whole laundry list. But as you heard us say, there's no better number. He made you a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And He loves you just that way. Today is giving you the tools to help you be the best version of you. The you that you are, just a little shinier, just a little glossier, just a little bit more like Jesus. I'm gonna ask Jackie to pray for you in just a second. Take a look at your life right now. Do you like where you're going? Are the people in your life helping you get to where you wanna be? Have you ever heard two people talking at a lunch table and wished you could pull up a chair and just learn? This is your opportunity. Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future. Studies have shown that you are the sum of the people that you hang out with. I mean, we all need people in our lives coaching us, teaching us, mentoring us, cheering us on, and making us into better people. And that is why I created the Circle of Friends. It's a chance for us to connect and increase the level that we live on. Here's what you get when you go to NicoleCrank.com/circle and become a partner. Every month, we'll have live coaching sessions, workshops with Zoom calls between us where you get to ask questions, engage, learn. Or I'll bring on a guest influencer like Joel Osteen, Christine Kane, Mike Todd, Sarah Jakes Roberts. They'll share some of the most valuable lessons they've learned, just like you were sitting at that table. We've got a Best of Nicole library with a bunch of teachings, and best of all, you're not just a friend, you're a partner bathed in daily prayer, getting weekly emails. And your monthly contribution is a seed that helps us be on TV and provide books to prisons, recovery homes, and people who need them. If you're ready to get in a group of friends who will help you be all that God made you to be,
and be a difference to others at the same time, this is it. For less than the cost of buying bubblegum, you can change the course of your life. Just go to NicoleCrank.com/circle and become a member today. Trust me, you'll be so glad you did.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you right now, Lord, and we lift all of these people up to you, Lord. I pray, Father, that every person that is listening to this message today, and that they feel understood right where they are, the areas that maybe they felt held down or misunderstood or alone. I pray, Lord Jesus, that you begin to reveal those things to them right now.
Yes.
I pray, Father, for people to feel just held in a very special and unique way, just as they are.
Yeah.
In your name I pray, amen.
I know we just covered a lot of information in 28 minutes, but don't freak out. This is not a 28-minute crash course. This is more like a journey. And it's not about the destination, but it's about who we become along the way. It's like a lifelong quest, and the more we do the work, the more aware we become about the way we are, the way God made us. The way God made us different. Get this, God made us different than other people. But these are some tools that not only help us understand ourselves more, but they help us understand other people more. We're not putting you in a box. We are helping you be free. You know, the Bible talks about God being a God of wisdom and understanding. And you might have some conversation about this. You might have some questions. I want to hear your questions. Go to NicoleCrank.com/let's talk. I might be able to point you to some resources, some books, some classes, some things in my circle of friends that can help you get to know you better. Hello, self. I'd like to introduce you to my real self. And as you do this, and the kind of help that we give, and that kind of help we try and provide, the resources we bring, the people we bring, the experts that we bring on the program, I love that this change is happening in people's lives. And I love when people tell us about it. There's actually someone, their name was Angelique, and they reached out to the ministry. And Angelique was so sweet in her message. She said, she thanked us for everything we were doing. She said that we were inspiration. She said that the show was really helping her. But then get this. She said she watched the episode about single parents, and that when we talked about a child not being a mistake, but God sent, she said she literally cried because she had felt like a mistake, knowing that her dad left when she was born, and she was carrying around a lot of anger and bitterness. But she said that when she watched the show, she realized that God made her for a purpose, and that she's learning to forgive her dad now. And she lives every day with purpose. She thanked us, and she's like, thank you, Nicole, for what you're doing. And I thought, oh, wait. She's not thanking me, she's thanking us. She's really thanking you, because when you partner with me, this message wouldn't be possible. I can't do this by myself. I'm believing God. I'm living by faith, but it's my partners that help get this message, this kind of information out. So if God has made a difference in your life through this show, I would like to ask you, would you consider partnering with me to reach more people? You can go to NicoleCrank.com/donate. Guys, thank you for helping us reach Angelique and people around the world. I'll see you next week.
I can interview you. Let's do that.
I need a night with sleep,
second.
and where the sun doesn't wake me up at 6 after I went to bed at 1 before we interview me. I want to actually be normal.